forms of the 1960s. She thought of her mother, who had taught her that dignity was not just about keeping your own secrets, but knowing when to keep others as well. "Discretion, Mr. Roosevelt," she had answered, "is like the air we breathe, essential for life, but best when no one notices its presence." He had hired her on the spot. Over the years, Margaret became more than just a housekeeper. She was confidant, counselor, and keeper of keys, both literal and metaphorical. She knew which floorboards creaked in the night when Diana Roosevelt sneaked out to meet her first boyfriend. She knew why there were always fresh flowers on the small table in the East Wing, even though no one ever sat there. It was where Thomas I had proposed to his wife. She knew about the safe behind the Monet and Thomas the Cirque's study, and about the other safe, the one hidden beneath the wine cellar, that even Thomas the Khan didn't know about. But most importantly, she knew about the document. The document, and even in her thoughts, Margaret always capitalized those words, was the reason she now sat in Sunset Gardens, clutching a letter that could destroy the family she had served for nearly half a century. It was the reason she woke up some nights in a cold sweat, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. It was the reason she couldn't quite meet her own eyes in the mirror anymore. "Ah, Mrs. Chen, your afternoon medication." Margaret looked up from her reverie to see Sarah, one of the newer nurses, standing in her doorway with a small paper cup of pills. Sarah was a bright spot in the institutional gloom of Sunset Gardens, a young woman from Ghana with a smile that could melt frost and hands that were always warm, no matter the weather. "Thank you, dear," Margaret said, quickly sliding the letter beneath her writing pad. "How are you today?" "Oh, you know me, always running," Sarah laughed, but her eyes caught the movement of Margaret's hands, the flash of expensive paper disappearing from view. She was observant, this one. Too observant sometimes. "Another letter to your family." Margaret's smile didn't waver, but something in her eyes shifted, like a door quietly closing. "Just some calligraphy practice. Keeps the fingers nimble." Sarah nodded, but Margaret could see the concern in her eyes. Everyone at Sunset Gardens knew Margaret's story, or at least the version that had made its way through the gossip circles. Former housekeeper to the Roosevelts, let go after some kind of scandal. No family of her own. They all thought they knew why she spent her days writing letters that never got sent. What they didn't know was that Margaret had no intention of sending this particular letter.